Hi, I'm Tom and this is Adult Game Reviews. This week we're going over the Steam Summer Sale. So this video is going to be a bit different. Instead of writing a big script and going through everything one by one, we're just going to go through some of these games kind of rapid fire, kind of like it's a live stream. I will be putting a couple of safe images up on the screen just to kind of give you a little bit of a taste of what game we're looking at. But if you want to actually get more information on all of these games, I have the links on my Patreon for free that you can kind of click on and take a look at, so that way you don't have to run far. So we're just going to kick it off with the 2D games. I have them organized in 2D and 3D. So the first 2D game we're going to talk about is Tuition Academia by Twisted Scarlet. It's at 50% off at $4.99, and if you like corruption-based games where you actually have a female MC, then you might like Tuition Academia. If you like idle clickers, then look no further than Idle Hands 1 and 2 produced by Mango Party. It's 55% off at $8.89, and these are kind of just chill clicker games, management style games, if you like the tags. Now we have Hush Hush, Only Your Love Can Save Them, which is one of my personal favorites at 40% off. We have Shelter, Shelter by Winterlook Games at 65% off at $5.66, which another game I really enjoyed. We have all the White Leaf Studio games that are 50 to 70% off, and all of them really take family seriously. We have Benefit Ship, which is a short 1 to 2 hour game for 74 cents. That's a great price for that game. We have Ashes of War by Cat's Tooth Studio. It is currently 50% off at $4.99, and the only complaint about Ashes of War is that it can be a little wordy as far as the dialogue, but that's a good price for a game that actually I've been meaning to check out. Moving on to all the AGL Studio games, that includes Faulty Apprentice, Best Elf, all from 50 to 60% off. Those are great prices on very well produced games. They're not the longest games, but they're very well produced, and Faulty Apprentice has been around for a long time. We have Sanguine Rose at 60% off. It's on sale a lot, but I wanted to mention it. Same thing with Book and Bond Maids, both good games, both kind of older, but good. And then we have Wet Sands, which is the in development game, pirate game, which has been pretty good as well at 50% off. Next, we have Girls, Girls, Girls by Miyosuke at 70% off at $7.49. If you're this illustrated version, supposedly is pretty good. I've never played it, but the price point seems right. Lastly, of the 2D games, we have Third Crisis at 50% off, and that's by Andwo Games at $11.24. Okay, now it's time to move into the 3D games, and the first bundle, there's a lot of bundles in this category, is City of Broken Dreamers 1, 2, and the Guide for 50% off, and that's at $10.32. Check it out if you haven't played it. Now we have all the Seven Realms games, plus the walkthroughs and the bonus content for 50% off. I'm not the biggest fan of the Seven Realms games, I'll be honest with you, but at this price point for all the games, I'm willing to give it a better shot, and that's at $17.53. Next, we're moving on to some of people's favorite group games, and that's Stranded in Space by Wildman at 50% off. That's at $7.49 price point. Moving on to Dreams of Desire Definitive Edition by Lewd Lab. That's at 60% off at $5.59. It's a little bit of an older game, but it's still pretty solid. Next, we're moving on to Best by Dolila. That's at 70% off at $3.59. I'd say that's a great deal, so something to definitely check out. We have all of the Love of Magic games, and that's a huge bundle, plus Morningstar at 40 to 50% off. Like, all of Droid Productions games are on sale to some extent, but I'd say Love of Magic bundle and Morningstar are the ones to get. All of the Countess in Crimson games by Digital Seductions, plus the DLC for 54% off at $6.15. Next, we have Deliverance by 1000, and that's at 80% off. There is some NTR, NTS content, but that can be avoided, but at $2.59, I'd say it's pretty worth it. Now, next is Element 174 Part 1 by Naughty Games at 75% off at $2.99. I have not played Element 174, but I was told that Part 1 specifically shows a lot of promise. My favorite horror VN, and that's Zero End. Chapter 1 is 60% off by Stolen Rose for $1.99. And if you enjoy it enough, then you might be willing to pick up Chapter 2 at a little bit less of a discount. I'd say if you do anything, at least pick up Chapter 1. Next, all the Sunshine Love games are Chapters 1, 2, and 3, and their walkthroughs for 50% off at $7.44. That's a great price. Speaking of a lot of content, we have The Price of Power by the Panda Man at $11.99 at 40% off. Price of Power is going to give you a lot of content. Next is Race of Life at 40% off, $8.39. Race of Life Act 1 is just a great game, and the price, it's a great time to pick it up. Another decent VN, one that I think a lot of people like, is Mistwood Manor at 60% off at $7.99. All the NLT Media games are 50% off or better. So if you haven't played Treasure of Navia or the Genesis Order, now's the time to try them out. Artemis by DigiB is only 35% off at $6.49, but it's worth it in my view. I still think this is a good deal, even if it's not at that 40 to 50% mark. Next, a couple of bundles. We have the Adult Adventure Bundle that has Seven Realms, Treasure of Nadia, Project Passion Season 1 for 50 to 75% off each. That's really good, and there's some good bundles underneath that umbrella. And the last one I want to highlight is Project Passion 1 and 2 for $9.59. That's that whole bundle for 56% off, and you're going to get both of those games for under $10. Great deal. Okay, I went through all of these really quickly. I wanted to get as many games on this list as I can and out as quickly as I can. So it might not be as polished as it usually is. I want to thank all my backers on Patreon and Subscribestar. And if you haven't seen my review of Attribution Act 1, you can check it out right here. Thanks again. Until next time.